psychedelic trip. I didn't quit, I just ran out of money. Give me another drink and I'll tell ya, I ain't feeding no lines. But that girl you knew last summer, well, she was out to kill your mind. And now you're home and defensive, like a dog gone in a bone.
Lace, you're a genius.
The best wrestler around,
right.
No denying it.
I love Dean Price so much.
Dean Price.
Bless you all. Except this dodgy cunt. I don't think Jesus called people dodgy cunts.
You did?
All right. So here we are. It is December 17th, and we are officially under Johnny Takeover. How are you, Johnny?
These graphics are beautiful. I'm in an even better mood now.
That's great, brother. That's great. Yeah, I got an email this morning. Some guy on Fiverr. I don't know who ordered these, who made these, but they look great. They're very in theme, so it's there. It's happening. Here we go. This is Dynamite with Cadillac and Dezzie. That's right. We are reviewing the AEW Dynamite from last night here, and good show, man. What an awesome. I had a good time with it. I had a super good time with it. What were your impressions of it?
I will be honest, I wasn't quite as positive about last night's episode as I am a lot of others. I enjoyed it, but I definitely have some criticisms. So, yeah, let's talk about it.
All right. Lise here. That's right. For those of you just tuning in here, you are not on the wrong channel. We are being joined here, hosted or took over by Johnny Takeover here, Johnny Cadillac. Johnny's having his second crack at the wheel here. Our regular host here, Dean, is unfortunately out with some personal matters. So Johnny Cadillac here has stepped up to take over, and he's brought graphics with him this time. That's right. That's right. Oh, here we go. Lee's saying tag team overload for me, but it was a decent show here. All right, well, let's get right into it here with the first tag team match of the night here. Hangman with Silver and Reynolds taking on Matt or Hardy Party. All right, this one was building up here from last week here. Obviously, Reynolds and Silver super excited to be teaming up with Hangman here. They've been wanting him to be a part of the Dark Order for a while here, and Hardy with Private Party have been together for a while. But now with Matt with this new persona, how did it play out? What did you think of the match here?
So I really enjoyed it overall, and I've come on here before and we've talked, and I harp on all the time how great wrestling is about telling stories, like stories to be told in any match. And this one, the longer the match progressed, told me even more stories than I was expecting, where the flow was great. And I honestly thought as soon as, the Dark Order guys were asking Hangman, like, hey, you need partners for next week, let's do this. And I thought, okay, it's gonna, like, we've seen this before. I've mentioned in some of my comments and everything, and I said they're probably going to win. It just makes sense. And then we'll see what builds from there. And so, I mean, the fact that I was wrong, I'm all for it. I don't want to be able to correctly predict wrestling all the time. And no, and just the story told, especially at the very end, where Matt Hardy's like wanting to take all this credit for himself. I don't know. I just the story of the match is what I enjoyed more than anything else. I thought it was pretty hard hitting, bunch of devastating clotheslines from my boy Hangman Page, and but yeah, no, I honestly, this match I did really enjoy.
That's awesome. No, it'll be good to see, because Matt, like I said, Matt with his new persona here, how he's treating Private Party as to compared what he was treating them earlier, and the way he treats people now. I think it's going to be really interesting to see, because like I said, when Matt Hardy does stuff, I'm just watching. So I'll keep my eye on this one for sure. All right. Cody taking on Angelico. And hey, okay, first of all, I got to say this. We don't break often from the, I love the whole Dynamite with the Cadillac thing here, but let's switch modes here into Triple C for a bit here. It's Cody Climax Club here with, okay, sorry, there's no, it's not. There's no Dynamite or there's no Cadillac and Dezzie here, so
All right.
It's all right. So we're getting forgiven for this one. Then that's good. Okay. So now, Cody, I want to harp on you, brother, but honestly, man, I'm excited. I'm excited for Cody's announcement of the baby. Obviously, they got going on there. The production, I'm a real whore for production, so of course I liked it. The little video they had there. I thought they would have had it a little bit differently where, it wasn't just sort of like news to them. You know what I mean? We're like, who's here at the door? Oh, it's a present. And what's in the present? We're having a baby. And they give each other a kiss. It's kind of like cool. Like it could have been like, okay, whatever. Like I'm okay with the way it was presented. I thought it was super funny. I thought it was just nice. You know what I mean? And I do rag on Cody and Brandy a lot. But honestly, man, Parenthood is great. And I could go on for days about Parenthood. But I won't. I'll just say congrats to Cody. And then it made it easier for me to sit through the entrance for sure. It did. So then Cody, what do you think about, do you have any comments on the announcement at all before the match?
The announcement itself, not as much. I enjoyed it too. I didn't know because I think they mentioned something about, or we saw in our group messaging that there was an announcement coming before the match, and so I didn't really know what to expect, and I see them in their home, and then they get a gift, and I'm like, okay, what rivalry is getting set up now, or is it something from Shaq? And I said, oh, this is pleasant. Like, she's pregnant. That's awesome. Good for them. Like, so yeah, I enjoyed the presentation of that itself, and spirit of the holidays that we're in now, and very much so. And I am happy for the two of them. But okay, so I've always been a proud Triple C member in the comments every week during Triple D. But I think I'm gonna just get right into it, Des. Is that okay?
Please do, brother. This is Johnny Takeover today. Wait, let's go back to the graphic here. The Johnny Takeover. Here we go.
Okay. I mean, you don't have to keep this up very long during this segment of the show. But yes, I'm going to get right to the match, and more specifically, Cody's intro. So, all of a sudden, because AEW wants to shove Cody down our throats so much, as you and Dean harp on so often, and normally I'm like, well, Cody's still great, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But I was left rolling my eyes last night. Yes, congratulations, Brandy's pregnant. You're going to be first-time parents. That's awesome. Jon Moxley accidentally says, I have a pregnant wife at home. And then he just has one little mention on commentary about congrats to Renee and John, I guess. And then that's all it was. And it's cool. But Cody, he's like the man of AEW. Like, step aside Tony Khan. This is Cody's company. And so we're going to have to keep being reminded over and over and over again. And however long is left of the pregnancy, I think we're going to just still keep reminded, probably not every week, but definitely subtly throughout, especially if Brandy's going to keep coming out with him. And so, yeah, so it starts with Cody's entrance, and it's already like over the top like Cody does every week. And then Justin Roberts goes, the new father, or whatever he said. And then Cody Rhodes. And I said, okay, like, pregnancies are exciting. You're going to be a dad, but like, come on. Like, if I oh my goodness. I'm rolling my eyes instantly. And then I was rolling my eyes again after the match, but we'll get to that. Go ahead and share your thoughts before we go.
Yeah, no, this is exactly it. I think, Cody, obviously, I'm a fan of Angelico. I'm a fan of the moves Angelico's got. I'm a fan of his for a long time here.
Yeah.
So I wanted to see him do something against Cody here. But at the same time, Cody's on this massive uptake right here. And at least, that's funny. No Brandy wrestling. Yeah, exactly. So Brandy's going to be out for a while, and hopefully Cody would take a back seat, but no, probably not, just because of how much he is such a part of the whole Sting being here, even to the point where even though Sting is here for Darby, it seems Darby's still just on the sides watching them. You know what I mean? Like, the whole thing is like, come on, get in there, Darby. Get in there, Darby.
I know. I don't want to interrupt you, but this is the Johnny Cadillac takeover, so I'm going to do just that.
Do it.
To Lisa's credit there, I did think, oh darn, we're going to have to wait like a year before we can see our Brandy Rhodes versus Jade Cargill match. Yes, that did pop into my mind when I was watching that last night. It was just my own chuckle in the midst of going over the top for this thing. But that did cross my mind too. We'll still see Brandy all the time, we just won't be seeing that match, at least not anytime soon.
Okay, Liam, sorry, man. Yes, he's got definitely Dean is still part of the show, obviously, but he's got prior engagements today, so he's taking the day off here. The future father, that's what they called him.
Yeah.
Shanna says, I was a fan of Angelico and Lucha Underground, but haven't been able to get invested into him in AEW. And that's what I'm feeling now, too, Shanna, honestly. That's where I'm at, is I'm resting on the laurels and nostalgia of the things he used to do and where I used to see him in LU. And it's like, okay, now, where's that? Where's that? Where's that? Where's that? Where's that? Although I'm a big fan of the finish he's been using there, that twisting, what does he call it? That rolling deathlock thing there.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty dope. Yeah, I'm a fan of that. I'm definitely a fan of that. But I want to see more from him. I'm hoping we see more from him soon. Maybe if they ever release the mid-card title from the Cody feud, we can get it, but who knows?
I mean, so I'm a big fan of Conan and his weekly podcast that he has. And he's mentioned it for, like, I think since AEW started, especially in the last, like, 6, 7, 8 months, where he's been wanting so much more TH2 because, like, he's especially in Helico, he's a big fan of. So, like, I mean, Conan's getting his wish, and I'm like, okay, yeah, it's great that they're giving them more exposure. Like, we're getting more familiar with the team who's been there from the get go. So I am a fan of that, and the fact that they gave him a one-on-one match with Cody, I thought, okay, cool. But and then I will say the one moment that I enjoyed more than anything in the match was when he did put that submission hold on him and Cody getting to the ropes with his teeth. Like, I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
That did get a little bit of a pop from me.
No, like I said, Cody is a pro. Cody knows what's going on. He's from a long line of family. He's got a lot of people in his ear telling him the right things, I think. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is his ego running totally wild on this like Hulkamania? Yes. Yes, it is. Would it be different? Like, and I get it, though. Cody would be celebrated anywhere. Don't get me wrong. This is not me saying Cody's unrightfully celebrated. He would be celebrated anywhere. It's just I'm taking the piss out of him because he's so close to the top, right? So you got to think that even him is just like, fine, I guess I'll have the big entrance, I guess, right? No, it's obviously him asking for these things here.
You can't.
Here we go. Sorry, Lisa's saying, Johnny, we're going to have issues with this Cody slander. You do not want issues with Lise here. You do not want issues with Lise at all. No, not at all. So let's move on here to Miro now. We've got Miro here talking. Miro's telling us that he's been we find out that Miro's been fined by AEW $25,000 for each person he assaulted. So that's $75,000. Wow, that's a decent chunk of money. Which is, I like that though. He starts promoting his match on Dark, and he starts promoting next week on Dynamite. We're gonna have a lot of Miro next week, and I love that. I love that we're getting a little bit of a blend of, hey, go watch the other program here. Like, let's get into it here because it's on YouTube. There's so many wrestlers. It is a lot of matches on Dark, but it's a lot of good wrestling, right? A whole lot of good wrestling. Next week on Dynamite, we're gonna have the wedding announcement. So he's already pushing that. Bah humbug. I love that sweater. Man, Miro's sweater, bro. I thought it was light up at first. And I was like, whoa. And I was like, oh, no, wait, it's just reflecting with the lights that is in the room. But still, dude, I want that sweater now.
You're not alone in that statement. I loved everything about that backstage interview. Everything. The sweater, yes. The fact that he promoted Dark in, like, a positive way where instead of saying, we saw this in the past in Dark, he's like, hey, here's a reason why you should watch this upcoming episode of Dark, which honestly we don't see enough of in AEW. So, and the fact that he's facing a opponent that is known by the AEW audience instead of, one of the indie stars that are getting their big break coming to AEW for Dark. And so, yeah, I love the Dark plug. And he's like, I'm into the holidays. And then he ended his interview with the words "ball humbug," and I was like, yes. And the fact that he said, was people so concerned about Christmas? And he goes, it's my birthday. And I looked it up, and yeah, December 25th is his birthday. I said, okay, it makes all the more sense. Oh man, yeah, I loved everything about it. Yeah.
Miro looked like a festive disco wrecking ball, says Shanna. Yeah, that can go for that for sure. EVP discount. Oh, right, because of didn't the Bucks only get fined $5,000 for kicking people in the face? And then they got the EVP discount. That's right.
Yep.
All right, so we got Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston, the angry Eddie Kingston. My God, I don't even take notes. I don't think I'm just quiet and watching. when Eddie Kingston's on my TV here. He says Pac just took off. He says Pac took off. He's not around anymore. Calls out Archer. Archer comes out. Butcher and Blade are out. Man, Lucha Brothers are out. Pac is here. The whole thing, like, this is just stemming to be another big stories upon matches with these two faction groups now. These groups, I love it, and I'm just a fan of Archer, man. Like, I'm trying to get my hair long enough so that I can actually braid in extensions like Archer does.
Oh.
That's my thing.
I
think every day is Rusev Day. I think, Shanna. Sorry, go on there. Take over.
That's all right. So yeah, no, going to this Eddie Kingston promo, I mean, I rolled my eyes a little bit. If I'm being honest, I loved it, but I was like, this is a little cheesy at times. He goes, I like where he's like, go ahead and cheer me, boo me, because I don't care. And I'm like, okay, he's acknowledging that people love him, but he's going to be a true heel. So I love that part. And then he's like, I have so many enemies, and my first enemy is God because I'm still alive. And I was like, okay, where's he going? And I'm like,
tough guy. He's a tough guy, right? Right away, he's just like, listen, God, you haven't done me yet, buddy. You know, like, I love it, man.
Yeah. And so I was wondering, because I watched Dynamite last week, and I said, okay, like, Pac's not involved at all here. I don't even know if he was really mentioned. So I was like, what's going on? And so then he addresses what my thought process was, and he goes, oh, we took out Pac's neck. He's never coming back. Like, we're so great. And so yay us. And then we're going to take out Archer too. And then, of course, like, the Death Triangle shows up with Pac there. And I said, well, whatever happened, he's back. So cool. And so then I'm like, well, this is a little weird. Because now it's 4-on-3 where the faces in this whole thing is outnumbering like the heels here. And on top of that, like, everyone was healthy in that segment. I was like, because, Allie's not going to get involved with the brawling. So I'm like,
yeah,
this is interesting. Can you think of a single time where there was ever any sort of like 3-way singles match in AEW history?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm sure there have been, but they don't happen very often. Like, sometimes you see like
not as often as 8-man tags.
Yeah, and I mean, extensive tag team matches for sure, or 12-man tags, which we'll get to, whatever. And sometimes some like 4-way tag team matches. But I said they could be setting up for one hell of a 3-way match here between Pac, Archer, and Kingston, and I would love everything about it. And
absolutely, dude.
So the fact that like Archer and Pac were button heads at the very end there, I'm like, oh, this could be even better than great. Like, oh man, yes, I was a fan.
No love lost there at all between the two of them at the end of that segment. Holy crap. Really, it was good. Going on now to Dustin's promo here. Dustin he brought up the worst burn ever in the history of time. Why would you dwell on that? Why would you bring that back up? The fact that you were called the least important Rhodes. Just let it move on. Let it be a thing that somebody said to you, and don't acknowledge it. The more you acknowledge it, the more people are going to be like, oof, because that's what I did today. I was like, oof. But he was super intense. Dustin was super intense, and that's what you want from Dustin Rhodes here. A lot of people are saying it. It's just fact. Dustin's the best he's been ever in his career here in AEW. He's just got a fire lit under him. He's in the best shape of his life. DDPY is saying live, so that's what's going on here. Yeah, that was my phone.
Oh, that's all right.
Yes, sir. But yeah, like I said, Dustin, man, he's on fire. Like I said, I just want more from him. You know what I mean? I want more from him. So we'll see what's going on.
Yeah. And then he acknowledged. He's like, 7 was a bad idea back then, and it's a bad idea now. And I was like, yes, because I could go on like my high horse there, but I'll save it this time. But I popped a little bit. I laughed. And I said, yep, okay. Because I was like, this is insulting to him if they're going to say, we have a position for you in the Dark Order as number 7. So, and then he's like, I'm going to kill everyone. And I mean, I want to keep watching, see where it goes. That's for sure.
I just love his conviction to it. You know what I mean? Even though he knows he's getting buried under everything, he's still there. So he's still there. He's still around. Dustin, hopefully he's going to be around for a long time because he's got a lot of knowledge to give too. But he's still tearing it up in the ring. He's not like just like a backstage agent, you know. Don't count him out totally, right? Because he's still wrestling better than he ever has.
Not that I want to give you a lot of credit, but you're right. Like, he is better right now than he's ever been in his entire career. Like, better matches, I'd say. And yeah, so he's still got plenty left for sure.
Tons, man, tons. All right, 12-man tag here. We got Best Friends and Top Flight and the Varsity Blondes. I was going to call them Varsity Blues. Yeah, Griffin Pillman taking on the Inner Circle, man. What a match. I don't even have notes for this match. It was so good. I had fun with it, man. I'm a big fan of Griff Garrison. I've liked him ever since the first time I saw him on Dark. I like Pillman Jr. there. They had a great story starting off. Pillman Jr. and Jericho just having their face-off there. And, man, Jericho going with the young guys, man. I love it, dude. I love it. Top Flight, of course, showing what they've got here. And they have a lot, dude. Top Flight looks like the kind of kids that like look like they're too high on themselves, but man, have they ever backed it up. They have super backed it up. Best Friends are just becoming solid. They're becoming a real foundation here for the tag team division, I think. And so them taking on the whole faction of Inner Circle, I think, was just a good match for me, man.
And they had their 6-way hug.
Yes, that was it too. Yeah, that was super cool. That was the big one too. I remember I got that. I was like, hey, that was fun.
Yep. And then Orange Cassidy on commentary with his unplugged headset. Yeah, like so many fun parts of this match for sure. I did think of my co-host here in my takeover show where I said, poor Dez is probably a little down and burdened because Wardlow's not there. And so I enjoyed the match overall. I had to watch it a couple times. It did get a pop for me that it started with Brian Pillman Jr. and Chris Jericho, and then they mentioned how on commentary, Chris Jericho was a part of Brian Pillman Sr.'s tribute show after he passed. And so this is really cool. And of course they said this is the first time they're ever locking up. So I was like, okay, great way to start. The match itself was fun. There's a lot of like fun parts. But then, so kind of where last night's Dynamite did leave kind of a sour taste in my mouth is I felt in different aspects it got repetitive in storytelling. And where the repetitiveness started for me was in this match at the very end where Chris Jericho uses a bat, but that's set up for something else where I was griping. But then in the very end, so Hager hits the F10, and which I guess, because it's like, him and Wardlow are going to still butt heads and like this Inner Circle fun, which I do enjoy all that storytelling. And then MJF takes a tag and goes in and just pins him. We hadn't seen anything like that since the first match of Dynamite. And that's where I was like, okay, I get it. And then I'll get on this rant again later in the show stuff.
And I think that's what we heard earlier too from our lovely audience of two here, Lisa and Shanna, the only two that stuck around for the Dynamite show here with Cadillac. Thank you. But no, this is it. It's tag team overload here. You know what I mean? We got a lot of tag team tropes are getting overused. So that was definitely happening for sure. Okay, so then again, all right. Well, another from a tag team into a tag team. We're going tag team maneuvers tonight here into another tag team. Man, you never really realize it until you look at it on paper, right? There was a lot of tag team matches on this card here tonight.
It really was.
A lot of tag team matches. So let's get to it. The Acclaimed taking on SCU. All right, now look, I'm a fan of Max Caster, man. I'm a fan of Caster and his raps. I love it. I love how they were used against him. I think Kaz had fire at the start of this match. That was hilarious shit.
Yeah,
man. That was
absolutely
funny stuff, man. The fact that Kaz and Daniels are still going this hard at it, man. These guys are timeless, bro. I love it. I absolutely loved it. And I thought they should have won. But I get why they didn't. I get why that finish happened. I get why they used the boombox. I get why Daniels took the pin. But man, that was fun, man. That was a lot of fun for me. That was two young guys in the Acclaimed getting a massive rub from these two vets who are just like the styles clashed, but they gelled at the same time. I liked it a lot.
Yeah. Okay. So from the entrances alone, I mean, I enjoy the Acclaimed. I really do. I think their character's fun. Their raps are fun. The fact, the Bucks said, "Oh, we've seen this before in wrestling," and I'm like, well, still, like, I enjoy it. I like the Acclaimed, and so I felt, this was a good up and coming moment for them. My money was on them, just because, like, SCU at this point, they're still around and they're great, but don't really have anything to prove. So it says more for storytelling to, like, kind of lift up the younger talent, which is what they did here. So I was all for it. But Kaz doing his own rap, I was like, oh, this is amazing. So I love that. And then the boombox in the end, we hadn't seen a weapon being used to set up for the finish since the match right before this with the baseball bat. And so again, it's getting repetitive for me. And I'm like, come on.
It's Groundhog Day, bro. It's leave them alone. It's almost Christmas, okay? People are checked out right now. Come on.
But
People
no,
aren't expecting you to remember what happened 20 minutes ago. Okay? That's what's happening.
So yes, overall, I like the match. I like what they're setting up for next week, and the rap afterwards. And oh man, and he had to censor himself because we're on network television here. And
yeah, but that's good though. They called out their shot against the champs, so that was good.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Yep.
No, good for them. I have Elise here and DeMonte taking on Swole and Serena Deeb. Man alive. Again, now this is it. This is more tag team wrestling, but it's a good way to showcase a lot of wrestlers at once. I'm a big fan of Big Swole. I love Big Swole. I love her attitude. I think she's coming along. I think she's definitely got pushed a little bit too fast for where she was. But now I think she's coming into it. She's definitely hit that pacing a little bit better. Man, that was a good match for Swole here. Serena Deeb, though, really just helped that along. And Ivelisse and Diamante, this is experience here. You can feel the experience in this match here, So I think they carried each other very well. My God, though, that Cloverleaf, oh my God, I love that finish. That is so tight, just crank in the back there. Nyla and Vicky coming back. Nikki and Viola. Nyla and Vicky coming in for the attack there. Vicky, I don't know, bro. Vicky's got to stop, whatever. Like, Vicky can be there on the side like Jake, but don't try to get involved, Vicky, because the kicks were looking bad. Things were looking like it wasn't looking effective. Took me right out of it. Nyla is so much of a beast that we should have just had her be doing the attack here. And you can just sit back here. Like, look at Lance Archer and Jake the Snake. Follow that. Red Velvet's out, though, and clears the ring. And, I mean, we had Bedlam, man. But, at least the weapon didn't happen during the match, right?
I guess so. I didn't have too many. Okay.
Sure. Shannon here with nice to see a solid women's match on Dynamite.
I mean, I enjoy it. I felt like more than anything, it was a great time for Big Swole to kind of get the spotlight in the right way this time. It's not being shoved down our throats or anything else. I thought she legitimately was a shining star last night, and I thought they did that absolutely the correct way. Like, hey, set up this tag team matches, this little bigger women's storyline going on, and then let's give Big Swole the spotlight in the end. So from that, I really did enjoy. I kind of agree with you on Vicky Guerrero. It's like, and the two just competed in a tag team match, and a great match at that. So, why? They both be out of breath and everything else. It made much more sense that Nyla just came out and destroyed both of them, or everyone, whatever else. And so, yeah, I'll give you credit there, Des, because I do agree.
Well, hey, like I said, a broken clock is right 2 times a day. We can agree on some things here and still dislike each other totally, but. I think we're getting across well here. This is going good here. Then we previewed next week, and next week is their what are they calling it? Holiday something before the New Year's Smash Part 1 and 2. It's like holiday.
The Holiday Bash, I think, something along those lines.
I hope it's not that cliche. Goodness sakes! Oh my gosh, I hope it's not that cliche. But it's the Christmas episode.
Yes, it's
the Christmas episode of AEW Dynamite next week. So we're getting, and this is what freaked me out is there's only 2 more episodes of Dynamite in 2020, man. Holy crap. And that was something I wanted to get excited about with Dean being here, but then he's not, so I can't. So
yeah,
Dean,
you just have to settle for me.
No, I'm not settling. You obviously you're one of the pros here, Johnny. You know this. You know that you'd be in the crowd here. You're as much a part of the show here as any one of us, obviously. So we do appreciate you. So thank you for coming in. Honestly, I do appreciate it because without you, we wouldn't do the show this week here. So I really do like that you're here. Thank you.
But we do miss you, Dean. When you're watching this, we do.
Oh man, yeah, exactly. If he watches this, remember what was it? The last time it took him like a week and a half or something to watch. It was awful. So Dean, when you're watching this, Merry Christmas. Happy December 25th to you, Dean, when
Yes.
you're watching this here. Okay. So next week on the show, though, we have the Bucks taking on the Acclaimed. It's happening. It's going on. And the Acclaimed will be the next tag team champions. I'm calling it right now.
Oh.
I'm just kidding. That's not. That's too much.
That's like, you want to talk
Too
about
far.
a bold statement there, Dan.
Too far. Jericho and MJF versus Top Flight. Versus Top Flight in the second tag team match. Don't worry, though. There's only 3 tag team matches next week. Sheeta is in action. Sheeta will be in action. I can't wait for that. Obviously, Abaddon will play a role, and I cannot wait for that. Evil Uno taking on Dustin. Here we go. Evil Uno. Man, Dustin was pissed off at Uno's offer there to join the Dark Order, and he's going to get it next week. He's going to get all of Dustin Rhodes, and I can't wait to see that one. And then Jurassic Express taking on the Dark Order. What can't you say? Like, I just love Jurassic Express, man. Every time I see them, I watch them on Dark. I love them. I just want to see Marco in action some more, man. I want to see him wrestle some more.
Honestly, I enjoyed that Jurassic Express video package last night too. I might want to add there because we haven't really seen them on Dynamite in a while. I mean, they're on Dark all the time, but I was like, oh, I mean, it's a good refresher. So I really enjoyed that video package.
Yeah, and that's it. Maybe they've been honing them in. Maybe they've been giving them a little more time, on Dark, and now they're bringing them back into the main spotlight here. So I can't wait. Like I said, Jurassic Express, you got my thumbs up. And Pac taking on Butcher next week. Eddie Kingston's going to have something to say about that. There's going to be something going on with that one there. I can't wait for it. It's Pac, man. It's Pac. It's Pac. And the main event tonight, the main event last night, Kenny Omega, the champion, taking on Joey Janela in what you knew was going to be brutal. You knew this was going to be brutal. This match was just going to be brutal, man. And it did not fail to deliver for me here. This was great. I thought it was an awesome match here. I didn't take a whole lot of notes here. All I've got is great table spot. Why Janela out of the ring? So obviously Joey Janela did a great spot out of the ring there with that table. I didn't think he was going to hit it at all. I didn't think Kenny was going to go through the table the way he did. That was brutal. That was insane. Crazy V triggers, man. When Kenny Omega hits a V trigger, he hits the V trigger. It's not like, hey, I'm going to make it look like I need you in the face. It's get yourself ready for a lot of pain after the match because you're going to get kneed in the face a bunch of times. And it's probably going to be really dazed. And that's exactly the look that Joey Janela had in his face when he went up for that one-winged angel, was like, what's going on? Like, how come I'm getting elevated
That's true.
right now? And then bang, you know what I mean? Like, it really did, man. That's a combination that finisher is so protected because of all those V triggers. And my gosh, take me, Kenny. I'm ready, man. I'm ready. Pac and Ray and Penta out on the ramp afterwards. Pac says that Phoenix wasn't beat. So Phoenix was not beat in that tournament. Phoenix deserves a shot at the title. And December 30th, we're getting it at New Year's Bash, New Year's Smash, New Year's Wallabaloo, not New Year's Evil. That's NXT.
That's NXT.
And December 30th, Phoenix is taking on Omega for the title. And just like next week, when the Acclaimed take the belts from the Elite, December 30th, the next week, that double hit happens on the Elite. And Ray Phoenix becomes the first ever Hispanic. Is he Hispanic? I think he's Hispanic. AEW World Champion. I'm calling it right there. I love Kenny Omega, but Ray Phoenix is going to take the belt and end the year in this incredible fashion here.
Oh, man. I for one, I am really excited for that match. I will say this. Ray Phoenix amazes me every time he steps in the ring. I mean, the two of them have had good matches in AAA, and now bring it on to the AEW stage. And I'm excited. I just hope that we're not going to have Kenny Omega commentary throughout the match like we had last night. But we'll see.
We'll see here. Well, this is funny because right here, Tony telling Don to kiss his ass popped me for sure, man. Tony Schiavone, and right here, hard saying Tony Schiavone's low-key the brightest star in AEW. Everybody knows it. What I love is Tony Schiavone is celebrated for the work he does and the charm that he brings to the show. He's just, yeah, man, absolutely. Tony Schiavone's the best thing I remember about old school WCW, and one of the things I love about AEW for sure is Tony, man, and the rapport that he has with everybody. So it's good stuff for me. It's good stuff for me. Johnny, so now we looked over the show here. It was a lot of tag team fighting. It was a lot of tag team matches, but again, Dynamite, man, they always deliver, man. It's always more entertaining than watching wrestlers talk on Monday Night Raw.
That's true. That's very true.
You know, I know it's not like a competition between the two, but it is in my head because it's about time to me, right? It's about where am I going to invest my time every week, and I'm not going to invest 8 hours plus in WWE a week. I'm sorry, man. It's just not strong enough, and I wouldn't do it for AEW either. So, because I'm not watching Olive Dark, and I'm not watching. You know what I mean? Like,
That's fair.
I devote a lot of my time to AEW as much as I can. But I mean, you know, Dean needs attention too, so I have to pay attention to Dean. Awesome. Well, listen, my brother, man, it's been great. Thank you again, Johnny Cadillac here. It's been Dynamite having you on the show, right?
Nice plug.
Thank you. All right, man. Anything you want to say out to the people? Let them know, and take her away, Johnny.
No, I want to thank you for having me on the show. In all honesty, it was a lot of fun. I'm thankful for the show this week because I told you at the very beginning that I was not super big into last night's show, and then we sat here and reviewed it, and I opened my eyes throughout, and I said, actually, this show was better than what I was thinking. Just recalling different things that you brought up and whatever else. So I want to thank you, Des. Like, it was fun.
Hey, man. Well, I find that I watch AEW, and I find like sometimes I don't want to watch it because I've had a bum day or I'm in a bum mood, right? And sometimes it's just kind of like, oh, that happened, or I wasn't impressed with something, and I've got to maybe watch it again, or just like I said, when I watch it, talk to Dean about it, and Dean is like, yeah, but didn't you think of this? And it's like, fuck, I didn't think of that. So, you know, it really helps. Even watching the shows with people, I find is better than watching them alone, right?
Absolutely. So next week, I'll watch you and Dean take back over yours and his show. I will probably be right back with the Cody Climax Club, and I just had my 1 week of off moments with him this week, and I might have bashed him a little too strong here, but I had fun doing it. But yeah, no, I normally do like Cody. I need to go get my Cody Rhodes t-shirt now too. So yeah, it was fun.
Awesome, man. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much, Shanna, Elise, and everybody else checking out the show here. Thank you for spending your time here on Thursday afternoon with us at Triple D, and we will see you all next week.
Hey, well, I missed the bump and I missed the hit. Well, I missed that psychedelic trip. Well, I didn't quit. I just ran out of money. Give me another drink and I'll tell ya, I ain't feeding no lines. But that girl you knew last summer, well, she was out to kill your mind. And now you're home and defensive, like a dog gone in a bone.
Well, you see the genius.
The best wrestler
You're
around,
right.
no denying it.
We did.
I love Dean Price so much.
Deep press.
Bless you all. Except this dodgy cunt.
I don't think Jesus called people dodgy cunts.
Is it?